Now, I believe I heard you say that, Crips LLC isn't affiliated with any actual Crip gang.
Well, Crips LLC is the legitimate side of the Crips because Crips are Crips. So it's not separate from Crips. We're legitimate, and then we have Crips that are not. So the Crips that are not under the LLC.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you kind of mentioned like Crips from other cities. How does all that work with like out of town Crips?
You know what? That's something that would have to be gone through with a process of meetings and different things like that because we are seriously, and I'm gonna be honest, we are focused on the LA faction of the Crips and Bloods right now. And so eventually, we'd like to, pull in all over the world. But initially that's where we are. I mean, we want to do a union, memberships and all these things.
I think I heard you say that you can't buy your way into this culture.
No, you can't buy your way into this culture. And that brings me back to Killer Mike. From my understanding, he offered Big U a sizable donation to be able to use the Crip brand. And you can't do that. You can't buy your way into the culture. You can't sell a part of the culture. That's no go. But because he's so in the light of the media, this is the perception that everybody has that he has that power to call a shot like that. And now it's costing them, all of them, you know? Mm-hmm.
Mm. Suge Knight.
And I met Suge one night at a club. They were shooting. And I was trying to run. And he would come to the clubs afterwards because he used to do flyers. He would pass out flyers. He was promoting parties or concerts for um, um, big promoters back then, and he was there at the club that night, and somebody was shooting, and I think he got grabbed me or something, but he got me to safety, and and that's where I met him. Hollywood Live, I think that was the name of the club that night, and we must have exchanged phone numbers or something. And then we talked a couple of times. I didn't want to give him my phone number at first, but I'm like, damn, he did just save you, bitch. So, like, that's the least you could do. So, yeah, so he got my phone number and we talked on the phone a couple of times and came by. I was just being nice and shit, but he wasn't a guy that I was attracted to at all. It was nothing about him that. And then he got to the point where he started kind of stalking me a little bit. And this was in '89. There was no death row. And I would come home. My oldest son was still in the arm carrier. So he wasn't even walking. And I would come home and have to step over Suge sitting on my steps with a bottle of wine and flowers. And I would walk right over him like he wasn't sitting there and go right in my house and lock my door.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a bit weird. But yeah, no, he was no death row back then or anything like that. And then for a while we after that split and went our ways, and then we uh, reconnected years later, and he's my youngest son, Suge's the only father that he knows. And we got really close on the reconnection. We were cool, but still never that togetherness, relationship, that kind of thing. No, he's my homeboy. That's how we label that as a homeboy.
What were
Hmm.
your thoughts when you seen the video or you heard about the video of him running Terry over?
You know what? Because I know Terry. Um, Suge was scared. I wasn't there, but I know him. And I know he's not a gangster. And he kind of, sort of, I believe, you know, if you back them up in the corner, they're going to come out, fight, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And I think that's what was going on, because the year prior to that one, coming in into New Year's, I think he did an interview, and I don't know if it was TMZ, and somebody said, "What are you doing for the new year? Or what's your plans or the goals for next year?" He said, "I'm going to kill me a motherfucker." So I think he had gotten tired of kind of being bullied. That was the barber thing that had happened, and, you know, other things that happened prior to that thing with Terry. And so then when this situation occurred, I think he was afraid. And he just did whatever. And it's at this point, you know, I have to kind of stand up for myself a little bit. And you can see that in a person who's not really about that life. Because he didn't have, you know, let me call Bone or let me call Terry, and, you know, they're going to pull up. That shit's over. You know, you done killed all your do boys is gone. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you're going to have to try to stand up for your own self. And I kind of think he was facing that day, and he was afraid. And I don't think he meant to kill him.
Him and Terry were friends, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they were friends, you know. And it's very unfortunate that Suge got dealt this raw deal that he's facing right now. But because he's not from the streets, this is where he wound up, because he was on the bus, the county jail, and they had put together a task force while he was in jail just for him. And they put a guy on the bus, and Suge was talking to him. And he says, "Yeah, man, I'm going into court today. I think I'm going to be released from court." And he told him, you know, I think he said Inglewood family or something, wherever he told. He said he was a blood. And he said, "I'm getting ready to go back to the street. You know, you got any messages or anything you want me to deliver?" And Suge said, "Yeah, man, you know, call." And so anyways, he gave him the lawyer's phone number and this whole exchange. You don't do no shit like that. You know better than, but the Suge ain't from the streets, because he would have known. And so that's why he didn't have, he had to take what they gave him, because had he not, what happened after that with this guy on the bus, he was a cop. He'd been around Suge's attorney. He went to jail. It was crazy, because he did too much talking. They were trying to get the police to pay off witnesses for, you know, shit like that. So he kind of earned his place where he is right now.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon, so hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.